This video is going to be about multi-accounting in the property trading game called Upland. Upland has a statement in their terms of service that says that multi-accounting is cheating and they do not permit it. If you are caught multi-accounting, you will get sent to Alcatraz, which is the game's prison. And from there, you either have to pay a fine or you just get banned from playing the game completely if your actions are bad enough. Multi-accounting harms the economy in Upland, so they are against it. What multi-accounting is when you start playing as a player and then you start another account and another account and another account. And the reason you would do this is because new players are allowed to purchase what are called FSA properties. And FSA properties are put aside for people or players who have below 100,000 UPX. Players who have more than that are no longer allowed to purchase FSA properties. So in an area that's just been released, and Miami's North Grapeland Heights was released a while ago, you can see that there are properties labeled as FSA. If they are light blue, they have already been purchased, but if they're gray, that means they have not been purchased. So in North Grapeland Heights, for example, you can see that there has been a number of new players purchasing properties in this neighborhood. And it's a little bit unusual because essentially all of these properties would have been FSA properties. All of these properties would have been FSA. All of these properties would have been FSA. And because of the size of them, they would all have been FSA properties to begin with. They would all have been set aside for new players. In an area that this area is being pushed by the members of the Discord community to be a node, or it is a node, but it's trying to become a collection is what's going on. If this area, this neighborhood becomes a collection, all the properties become more valuable. So the idea is that you want to do the things that are required by Upland to become a collection neighborhood. That's what the node is a group of people that got together and are trying to make that happen. The strange thing is that a lot of the FSA properties are being purchased quickly and then being sold at higher prices. Like this one, for example, is an FSA property, and it's being sold for 27,000 UPX. A similar size property, unminted, is 9,500. So this person is tripling or trying to triple the amount that they paid for this, and that's not an unreasonable amount for a new player. Most people would pay 27,000 for a property in this neighborhood since it's being pushed for a collection. The strange thing is that the number of FSA properties that have been purchased and then repurchased is kind of sketchy. It makes you think that a person has started a new account, purchased a property, and then sells it to themselves at whatever price, and then they resell it again at a higher price, and essentially they're just making money from it. And it takes a while for that to happen. You can't purchase as many FSA properties as you want. I think you can only buy 3 a week or whatever it is. It's a long period of time. So it would take you quite a while if you only had one other account. If you were to make 10 other accounts, that means you could purchase them even quicker, and 100 extra accounts, and obviously you're even faster. The idea of multi-accounting would be to basically just create an account, buy a couple of properties, sell them right away, and let that new account die. You don't want to keep the other account, you just want to have the properties. And so I'm not encouraging people to multi-account or anything like that. I'm just saying that's how it would work, or how it does work. And I know Upland has been trying to minimize how people can multi-account, or if they can actually even multi-account. So it's very attractive to people who want to cheat. And it is dangerous, because if you are caught, you will end up in Alcatraz, and then, like I said, you'll either have to pay a fine, or you're just not going to play the game anymore. I know there are probably a lot of players who were caught, and now they've just abandoned the game, and the properties that they have are all now dead. No one can purchase them. If you were to look, there are a lot of properties that are owned by people who are in jail now, and that's harming the game. So it's not a win-win for anybody. Like, multi-accounting sucks. And over the years that I've been playing the game, I've often tried to find out if somebody who was making me an offer, or asking me to buy a property, or had a property that I wanted to buy, was multi-accounting. And you can use the blockchain to some extent to see what's going on. You can also use the Upland site to look up players and see if someone is doing something that you would feel is multi-accounting. But again, it's very difficult to see. Like, there's no sign that says this person is multi-accounting. So in the UPXLand now has a transaction page where you can search for. I'm a paid member of this, so I can search all cities at once. I'm going to search for, let's say, accepted offers. So those are offers. Those are players that have accepted an offer of someone else. So if I were to offer to purchase a property for someone else at the exact same price that they paid for the property, it would show up in this list as me basically paying the same amount that person minted the property for. If you were to undercut the price, it will show that too, and I'll show you in a second. So I'm just going to look for accepted offers. The date that I'm going to choose is it's August, early August now, so I'm going to choose July, the entire month of July. And then the rest of it I don't really care about. So search, and it'll take a few seconds for it to return. I can see up to, I think it's 2,000. Might only be 1,000 at once. Yeah, I can see 1,000 on a page. There are more than that for the month of July. Let's just see what the next list brings up. So it's a total of 2,777 entries for the month of July for accepted offers. And if you were to search by markup, or sort by markup, it will then show you how much markup there was when people sold or accepted the offer. And there's like zero markup is essentially the person getting it for free. The price was 1 UPX in this case. That's pretty sketchy. So these are, it's not like I'm pointing fingers at the moment. I'm just saying this is what happened. So there may have been a reason why these people sold for so little or traded for so little, but it's obviously between the same two people over and over and over and over and over on the same day at almost the same time. And this, looks really sketchy. And so, and 112 UPX is a very small amount for any property. It's not showing here what the property size was, but and there are no properties that are worth, you could mint for 112 UPX. They just don't exist. And so a lot of these are collection properties too. There's a red collection property that was sold for 220 UPX, like really sketchy. So these are the kind of things that you can look for when you're trying to find out if people are multi-accounting. So what I did was to write a program using AI that if I were to take, like in the UPX land, you can download the Excel spreadsheet of this data. And so I've started in January and I've downloaded all of the accepted offers for the month, for each month. And I ended up with data in a spreadsheet that I'll show you here. So this is all the data that has been gathered from UPX land from January, February, March, April, May, June, July. And this is just a duplicate of July. Just delete that one. So if you were to look at this data and sort through it to see, like I was saying, that the number of transactions that happened rapidly, the number of actions that happened between two players over and over and over again, and the same thing in a short period of time, and then the markup. And so there's a whole pile of different things you can look at. And if you were to weight each one of them, I'm just going to save this. And then this is the app that I made. It's just a web page that analyzes the spreadsheet. So I'm going to use that file that I just made. And again, I'm going to blur out these people's names because it's not necessarily that they are multi-accounting. I don't want you to think that these people are terrible people. What's happening is the data shows that they're behaving in a way that's the same as somebody who is multi-accounting would behave. So right now there are 5,219 unique players just from January to July that look like they are these are the players that have accepted swap offers in those months. The number of suspects is almost 2,000, so getting close to half or a third of this number. So there were a total of 17,000 or 17,500 transactions by these 5,000 players. The way the AI decided to look at this was to assign a number of points to each type of transaction. Now, the top suspects are the people that are considered to be the most likely to be multi-accounting in this list. What it looks at is frequent trading pairs. So if you were to trade between two people quite often, that's what happens. And these two players had 597 transactions between the two of them in the last 7 months, which is quite a lot. Below that, there's same day transaction patterns between the same two people. So again, not only did these two people have transactions 597 in the 7 months, 597 of them were on the same day. So, that's even weirder. And then suspicious markup patterns. that's the tiny amount that is marked up, or the huge amount that is marked up one way or the other, if the person is trying to make a profit. This is also something that it looks at. Rapid transaction sequences are not only just in the day, but like one right after the other very quickly. And out of all this, there are a few people who stand out like, sore thumbs, that are doing everything that you would expect a multi-accounter to do. And so, like I said, this isn't bulletproof, but it is an indicator that shows these people are doing something that they shouldn't be doing, or that it looks like they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing. Now, I have found that because some people, they have, let's say, a live stream, and they give away properties. They could, let's say, Upland After Dark, for example, gives away a lot of stuff at the end of the show. If there was someone who gave away, let's say, 10 properties at the end of their show every day or every week or however often it was, they wouldn't be. You can't just give away a property. You have to trade something for it, or the person has to purchase it one way or the other. So if it's a giveaway, you're basically trying to charge the lowest you could, or you exchange a burner property for it, so that the person who won the property is actually winning something, not just having to pay for it. So those people would look like they are multi-accounting, even though they're just giving stuff away, or someone's won a contest, or whatever the case is. So anyways, I've created a manage player area where you can whitelist players, or you could also look for players who are already in jail. Like if somebody, let's say in the month of May, was found to be a multi-accounter, they will still show up in the list. So you could add those people to this jailed list of players, and they won't show up in the final totals. Same for whitelisted players, as if they are considered to be, like they give away a lot of stuff, so obviously they're not multi-accounting, or they could be, but I mean it's likely that they're not. I would obviously whitelist myself because I'm not a multi-accounter, so those kind of things would make the list a little bit more accurate. But all in all, I've found that there are it's the same people over and over and over again that are that look like they're multi-accounting, and it's it's possible I could use this to show Upland, hey, I think these people are suspect. But Upland, I've found, when you report somebody as multi-accounting, they don't necessarily they can't take it as truth. They have to do their own research. And it depends on how much time they have and how much manpower they have to do this, because it's not easy. Coming up with this list is simple, but doing the actual research to find out, like, is this person multi-accounting, is a bit more, it's a lot more work. And even if the person is multi-accounting, if they only have one extra account and it's now dead, let's say they created another account and bought 3 properties and then traded them to themselves and then let the other account die, it's still cheating, but it's not as bad as someone who has 100 extra accounts. So I'm not sure that Upland would prosecute everybody that they run into, because it's, like I said, it's very difficult to prove. There's no actual judge and jury. It's just Upland deciding one way or the other. So like I said, I thought this tool might be interesting to look at, and it is. It actually shows pretty quickly if somebody is doing something that makes them look like they're multi-accounting. And the reason why I did this recently, like I had looked into this a long time ago, not making a program, but just looking at people who I thought were questionable. Lately in North Grapeland Heights, like I said, the number of FSA properties that have gone from being not minted, unminted, to minted and then sold again. Like if you mint a property, it shows the FSA on the gray thing. If you mint it, it still looks like this. If you sell it, it looks like this, or if you are selling it. But as soon as it gets purchased, it then looks like this. It's now the FSA logo disappears. And I think that's the case. Yeah, I think it's as it gets sold, the FSA disappears. It may be the second generation, I can't remember which, but eventually the FSA will disappear and it'll just become a regular property. But either way, the number of FSA properties in North Grey Upland Heights was a lot more than it is now. And so people have been minting them, selling them, and then reselling them. And that, like I said, is a bit questionable. And this is what the people that I was listening to on a stream were talking about, how they feel it's ruining the economy in this neighborhood. And I admit that if you like, there's a lot of people on here that just don't know how the economy works. They buy a property and they turn around and think they're going to sell it for 10,000 times what they paid for it, which is just ridiculous. No one will ever pay that much for nothing, essentially. So those people are just harming the game. And if you're overpricing a property, that you will, if you buy something and then try to sell it at 10 times what you just purchased it for, you're harming that neighborhood. And because then it makes it essentially a dead property again. You're making sure that no one will ever do anything with that property. So, like I was saying, this sheet is basically just to see if there are players that look like they're multi-accounting. It was an interesting project, and it came up with the kind of results that I expected it to. I wasn't surprised by the results, and to be honest, I'm not going to do anything about it because it requires more effort than just this to decide if somebody is multi-accounting or not. But if anybody is interested, it can be done. I'm not going to give this away, but if anybody was interested, I can show them how, the prompts I use basically to create the sheet, the website. Anyways, like I said, this is kind of a controversial topic, but it's an interesting exercise.